Hey folks, how you doing? Welcome back. It's Charlie. It is holy cow. Excuse me. My hands are cold. It is Friday morning, uh, January 21st, 2022. It's about 8:19 in the morning, and it's about well, the temperature on my phone says it's like 48 degrees. It's doesn't real. It kind of does, but it's quickly warming up, and as you can see, the sun is brightly coming up. Um, it has been an interesting few days since I shot the footage of the Hancock Park murderer. That's what I call him, and that's what my title is to that guy. And I know that look, that video is over and done with and posted on the internet and everything, but when I address someone that in the beginning when I was approaching him and everything else, I referred to him as gentleman. I know. It's like, well, there are other words and stuff like that, but until I really know, it's like it's just upbringing. Okay, first of all, I wasn't brought up in the LA Unified School District. As pretty much I am a conservative first and a Republican second. My hometown is El Segundo, and we didn't have any kind of people like that. You know, like you can see the difference between the way I act and the way I speak and my diction compared to Carla, and especially to some of you trolls out there. You come off and you show what side of the aisle you are, whether it be the left or the right. And as of quite lately, and since the whole campaigning and the lockdown and everything, a lot of you actually show, not all of you, excuse me, but most of you show that you are from the left side, because you come off very strong and very opinionated and very one-sided. And you try to attack me, and you've heard and experienced how she's been acting with all the name calling, all the bigotry, all the racism, the drug, the abuse, the verbal abuse that you've heard and experienced, the way she does with her dog and everything. And then a lot of you say, well, you know, Charlie, you should report and report her to the Humane Society. Well, obviously, as I've always said, you know, help yourselves first. If I can't help myself, how am I supposed to help that little dog? And the fact of the matter is, if I do make a call, there's only one situation, is that call, and she's going to know that it's going to be from in the house, and mostly from me, because I hear everything, because we share an adjoining wall. So, oh my goodness. You have eyes, though you do not see. You have ears, though you do not listen. You have mouths, though you do not speak. So, can we just chill? As I was closing off the video from Los Angeles Part 2, and I had said that I was blocking off those people from their comments. And the other comment was, yeah, Charlie, you know, we don't really want to see the negative comments in it. No, and I agree. And the basis of my channel since the beginning, I've never blocked anybody off except for one person. And that's when I was homeless. And this person was a little too knowledgeable from my past. In fact, when I was showing my friends all the comments that this person was saying, they're like, oh my God, Carlos, you know, it's just like, this person really does it. Who do you think it could be? And a lot of my friends were saying, is it one of your kids? Is it one of your son? Is it your son? Because, you know, he's the oldest. I go, yeah, I don't think it's my children, you know. And after so much time, I was thinking that it had to have been, definitely, if it was at all, it had to have been a family member or a friend of the family from the marriage. Or most likely, my best guess, my assumption, and I hate going on assumptions, would have to be maybe the middle child, the sister. She is well, the whole family is staunchly Democratic and Catholic. And for me, I was the black sheep of the family, being a conservative and a Republican married into that. And it's unheard of or unspoken of for me being a Catholic to be, I guess, Republican. So, you know, when we were dating and before we got engaged, it's like, okay, well, we can't tell mom and dad that you're Republican, and let's just keep that. You pretend that you're a Democrat. I didn't like that, but we all tend to do things for love, and for me to dumb down my political views in life was, that was you're asking a lot for me. So when that comment that was posted, Charlie, you're on all the social programs and everything else. No, I am not. I am not on the social programs. Ever since I had, lost my job at Target, I had to apply for the EBT. I didn't have the income, and I didn't even do that until after 4 months later of being disabled and then going back to Target and then finding out that they turned down my disability because Target lost my paperwork. So when they found it and they called me and then they turned in, it was still too late. Corporate had already, denied me. So all that was on Target. And then I'm struggling for another 2.5, 3 months before I even made the attempt to go apply to get EBT. So before you even think about making another nasty, dirty, or just plain old fucked up comment about me being a sponge off the system, think about yourselves again. And all this rhetoric that you guys are just posting is it's just showing your flag color. You're so blue, and you're showing on which side of the aisle that you are. You're completely on the left. So let's kind of try to dumb down. I don't want to ban anybody else from my channel. I don't want to block anybody off. I always said that everybody has the right to their opinion, whether it be a good comment or a bad comment. And after that video, after the Los Angeles part 2, that's when I decided to block people off. After how many years now have I been doing this? You folks have ridden with me throughout my homelessness, me getting housed, me being employed for just about 3 years, during the lockdown, Carla moving in, robbing and stealing from us, threatening me, mainly, doing the same thing with my housemate. And actually, you know what? He and we were speaking yesterday, and he says, he's like, just if you want, you can mention me, or you can put me, because he's so on my side. But I think about his situation and him struggling and everything, and I think about his 2 sons. So I really don't want to speak about him too much, other than as a ghost, and more or less kind of speaking for him in that sense, and I'll tell him, I go, he knows my channel, he sees that. But I also think about his 2 teenage sons. So I don't want him to be attacked, because I don't want his sons to see all this. He sees how badly some of you folks attack me. My ex-wife sees how you folks attack me. My friends locally and abroad see how some of you attack me. My family throughout the country sees how some of you folks attack me. So, people in glass houses, a book by its cover, the pot calling the kettle black, all of that. So, as much as I will forever continue to do this, whether I'm in this situation right here, whether I do finally get moved out, I've been stuck here at this freaking house now for 4 years. 2020 was in my house. Now we were talking about this yesterday. 2020 was going to be the promising year that we were going to exit out, and we were both going to be permanently housed. And then the lockdown came, and Carla was already moved in, and she did her bullshit throughout. And you folks saw that. You folks heard how she is. It's very rare that when a homeless person gets housed, that they continue to act like they're homeless even though they're housed. And yet she's proven day after day, week after week, month after month, and obviously after 2+ years now, she hasn't changed. The only thing as of now, we're going into the 3rd week that she's been ill, and she still hasn't said anything, though she has more or less, because I did text the landlord. She did move out her son, I guess, because for the last couple of days, 2-3 days, her son was kind of cleaning up the utility room. And God, I don't know how many times you vacuum it. It actually kind of took me back earlier to the lockdown, where she was tweaking so hard after smoking coke. She's vacuuming every 10-15 minutes, and her room is about a quarter of the size of my room. I have the biggest room in the house, and I pay the most rent. So, and I'm thinking, God, it's just, I'm reflecting back to my days of being a younger man when I was doing meth, and when you're on coke or meth, especially on meth, you do the most stupidest things, though you don't realize it, and you're doing it constantly. You're repeating and repeating. And no. Luckily enough, I don't know how, but after everything that's been happening for the last couple of weeks, I've been running into a lot of my friends that were homeless, and some that are still homeless. In fact, as I was taking a walk yesterday evening, there was a friend of mine over here, a gentleman who is still currently homeless, though he does have a possibility of a lead of probably getting into a room. And he's had the same van for the last 5-6 years now. And he goes, well, and to know him, he has the most stupidest lame jokes. He goes and he helps out at Central Park and breakfast in the morning and stuff like that. And whenever he sees someone, you can hear his voice from the distance. And he always starts off with, "Young man." I was completely elated when I saw him. I reached into his car and I gave him a great big hug, and I'm like, God, I miss your dumb ass face. I miss your stupid ass jokes, as lame as you are. He says, well, I got another one for you. I told my wife to run around in circles dancing and stuff like that, and she did it. I go, well, there you go. You completed her lap dance. This guy has just the most corniest jokes. I mean, to know him, you gotta love him, no matter what. But hopefully he does have a lead. And I told him, I go, you know what, as screwy as things are, and if you are gonna get a place to stay, and it's a Christian-based program or whatever it is, I go, do your best to try to keep your car, because these Christian-based programs are the most crooked and unpredictable situations, and the hypocrisy that is behind the whole thing. I mean, look where I live. My landlord is a pastor, and look how all three of us have been treated. It's not just me or my housemate, but the troublemaker. It's her too. Why would you allow her to continue to self-destruct like this? This can't be healthy. Honestly, the best course of action would be to exit her out or have her transferred so she can go somewhere else. She definitely needs conservatorship, because whenever she gets her money, the first thing that she does is gets alcohol, gets coke, and then thirdly gets food. And for some of you that you don't even realize this, she's not even on food stamps. The only thing that she lives off on is her disability. And that's roughly about $830 a month. That's why she has her kids all on EBT and her granddaughter. So she can have them support her with food, and she can use her money to buy party favors. So if we can, please, can we keep all that bullshit down? Because I don't want to ban anybody else from my channel, you know? And she now has seen for the first, well, I think memory is starting to come back to her. Oh my God, I remember what Charlie said about what he does and what he used to do with the homeless and feeding the homeless. You know, every great once in a while, you know, I'll run into someone, Carlos, you know, what happened with the feeding and the pastor and everything? I go, well, I don't know, you know, he was the money man. I was the one that, you know, helped organize with my friends and everything else, and we did the feeding and everything else, you know. So I don't want to ban anybody else. That's already 4 people in history after 6-8 years now of doing this and documenting my homelessness and my transition to being housed. And now, after losing my job at Ralph's again, I don't want to ban anybody else. But if you folks keep doing what you're doing, I will strike you out, you know. I've always said that everybody has their opinion. It's all about clarity. Unlike the current administration isn't about that. You know, they will say one thing and the promises have been broken time and time again since this administration has taken over in the office. Who's more clear? Who has been more interactive with you folks? There are very, very few of us creators. God, I still have a problem with being called a creator. I'm just a flipping YouTuber. You know, I'm just a guy taking you folks on my life journey. And I will irradiate on that. This is not a channel for entertainment. This is not for you to decide what I want to do. This is my life. You are on my train, and that's the way it is. That's the way it always was, and this is always the way it's going to be. So, with your harsh comments, you're not only attacking me, but you're attacking my children firstly. They see and hear all this. Okay? So, keep it down. Because as of that video, part 2 of Los Angeles, I will be removing all of you. No more. No more. I've been patient throughout this whole time. Especially with a lot of you trolls. Again, you show the color of your flag and you show what side of the aisle you are. No longer. No longer. And that's it. You folks take care of yourselves, take care of each other, but always take care of yourselves first. Love one another, trust one another, be kind to each other, help one another. Don't take today for granted or any other day thereafter. Live for the moment, pull down your pants and slide on that ice. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you like what I'm doing or what we're doing, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Tell your friends and family about me, about us, and what's going on, and that's it. And one thing also with filming the Hancock Park murderer, it's been a little bit easy for the last couple of days. I've had a lot of people that kind of stare at me and they want to place me and recognize me. When I was at the Paseo yesterday on a phone call with an attorney, there was this very attractive young lady and she kind of was looping around, and I think she was waiting for an Uber. And in the middle of the conversation with the attorney, she comes up to me and she's doing this and she goes, "Are you that guy?" Da, da, da. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I go, whoa, wait. I didn't make the call. I simply filmed the apprehension of that man and the arrest of that man. I didn't make the phone call. In fact, for the last couple days, one friend in particular who's in Las Vegas, she runs up a nonprofit homeless organization in Las Vegas, and she DM'd me and she says, did I just see you on the news? I go, yeah, I'm on the news. I'm on all the channels. I'm on the internet, and I'm on Inside Edition. She's like, oh my God, you're so brave. I go, no, 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 no. I didn't make the phone call. I simply filmed the whole situation, my dear. I don't like to take credit for anybody else's accolades, and I don't like to take any blame for anybody else's failures or fuck ups. I've always lived like that. I've always been taught and brought up. Never take the glory for someone else's achievements, and never take the blame for someone else's mess ups. The only other ones that I will ever take and accept responsibility for someone's screw ups is my children and my children alone. Not even my girlfriend, not even my spouse, and no other family member but my children. And with an explanation, of course. And that's it. Glass houses and stones. So let's keep it killed. I love you all. Bye bye.